What's up, everybody? We are back with another review, surprise review again, this time of Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck, the Don Rosa Library by Fantagraphics. This is a beautiful, oversized book, nice hardcover, and with nice matte paper, not glossy paper, much like I print my books with. And I like this sort of print style better because it works better for like a library. This is like the paper you get on novels rather than most comics, which I very much appreciate. And I wasn't intending on reading this. We just came across this in my local comic shop, and the guy there said, "You have to read this if you love comics." And I just read the intro by Don Rosa, who talks about how he got into this to begin with, and he was just a huge fan of Carl Banks's Scrooge McDuck and Donald Duck, and did fanzine work making comics of these for a long time, and got the nod, and ended up making some fun stories. This first story of Uncle Scrooge is one where Scrooge is off hunting some treasure in South America, trying to prove that he's a more competent fellow than the enemy here, and whose name I forget the name. Who is it? It's, let's see, Flintheart Glomgold, he's like Scrooge's evil twin, basically. Look at that. Look at that, just like the dynamics. Love it. They go to South America and hunt some lost Incan treasure, and then it all ends up disappearing in the wind at the end. It's pretty cute, and a wonderful way to open up the book. We get into some Donald Duck stories after this. You see that he actually puts in the old comics that they're reading in here, which makes it fun. And Donald is competing in this one, much like Scrooge was competing in the other one, to try to start a business that's going to prove that his worth to Uncle Scrooge. Very cute also. The next story we got is, which one's this? Oh, Huey, Dewey, and Louie are trying to get their merit badges for animals, and Donald Duck's trying to trick them because he thinks they're a bunch of know-it-alls, and they have the answer for every single fake creature he tries to make, and it's really, really funny with a nice punchline at the end. This is probably the funniest Donald Duck story. He's got this old jalopy car thingy, and he completely assembles and disassembles it every single year, and his neighbor sells it for him at a yard sale. So Donald goes around and tries to get all the pieces back. Well, he forgot some screws and stuff. Pretty funny. All these are just humorous. I like these pretty good. Don Rosa mentions how he's like not great with gag strips, but he likes long-form stories. And there's definitely mostly long-form stories in this. This one, a bunch of bandits are trying to stop Scrooge's, trying to steal Scrooge's stuff, and Scrooge thinks he's the best with it. And they have they get some giant ray guns, and a lot of fun in this one. Just absolute fun all the way around. I can't speak to how fun these stories are and how creative they are enough. This is one of the longer ones in the book here. Next one is Donald Duck has a jack-o'-lantern competition. He's got his neighbor who is got pumpkins, and Donald Duck wants to carve them, but he won't let them, so they compete, and hijinks ensue there. And then a similar Christmas story to that one. These are very, very similar stories, where Donald Duck wants to create the best Christmas tree and ends up messing that up as well. And Huey and Dewey and Louie are very self-aware of Donald in here, and they're like, "Hey, all your master plans seem to have problems sometimes." This next one, he is dealing with the same guy he was before, his cousin Gladstone, who has the luckiest luck of all ducks, and they twist on this for the luck as he's trying to win a cruise, to the tropics and all that. Very funny. And we have, let's see, This is a fun one. This is probably my second favorite in here, where we get an origin of Scrooge McDuck, where he's a gold prospector in Alaska, and he's trying to hunt down his lost sled, and other people are trying to hunt it too. He's got a lost love in this duck lady right here. And I like going back to the past and doing that. This was a very nice tale, which made me care a lot more about Scrooge McDuck than I did prior to this. So they did a good job of this here. And we had a short gag strip where Donald Duck's in an alien dream. That was 2-pager, and this is another short gag strip of Uncle Scrooge trying to lift his money bags. And those are all right. There wasn't much to them, but of course, 2-page gag strips are what they are. And then Huey, Dewey, and Louie on the last adventure here are trying to play hooky from school, and Donald Duck keeps showing up everywhere. What I like about this one is they actually go to a baseball game, and I like baseball, so it made me happy to see some good old-fashioned Americana in there. Great stuff right here. What's neat about these, though, is then you get like notes on all the stories. So Don Rosa talks about influences, what he was thinking at the time, insane details to look for, as he says, which is how I knew how to find that comic, because it was actually in the details back here. And you really get some insight into the creative process, which is really nice. And this continues in all of the volumes of this book. Now, I only read volume 1, and very nice. And we get some, he's got some covers in the back of some of the issues here that he did also. But there are 10 volumes of this, and to complete the Don Rosa experience of all this, there's also a box set which only contains the Uncle Scrooge stuff, and that's a 2-volume set. So if you wanted to only get the Uncle Scrooge stuff, you get those. But there's 10 volumes of these, and books 7 and 8 are currently out of print. Book 5 is also kind of hard to find. And the rest should be pretty easily obtainable. I was told that 7 and 8 should be coming back into print soon, so I think these are good sellers for Fantagraphics here. But I love the oversized format. I love the nice paper that does make this actually feel like a library edition rather than some of that overly glossy comic paper. It really makes the colors pop and is really nice to look at and read. Everything about this book is just everything comics is meant to be. So 10 out of 10. I'm going to be hunting down the rest of the volumes and doing these. I'm gonna, as I get them, I'll probably do them. And I don't know that I'll do them in order. I don't think it matters because there's not like a continuity here between the characters. Each story is pretty self-contained, and you get some fun with that. So I don't think if you find a volume 7, for example, which I think is the hardest one to find, you can just start reading there. It doesn't, if you know who Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge are, relatively, you'll figure it out pretty quick. And just really good stuff here all the way around. Props to Fantagraphics for this collection right here. And I want to do more Fantagraphics things. If you're into like these like classic comics like this, let me know, because I know that it's a hard sell to get people to watch these videos and even to read these comics, because like American readers only read the superhero comics, right? But this is the type of stuff that needs more attention and the stuff that we should be hailing and enjoying. It is 100% kid-friendly. There's nothing weird in here, too. That's also something I very much appreciated. So I'm going to share this with my children, which also makes me happy. So, yes, that's it. 10 out of 10. Buy this book. Go get it. This is classic comics. It is great comics. It is everything I want a book to be. All right, hit that like and subscribe button. I will see you next time.